for the listeners, what would you suggest is the best way to prevent back pain in everyday life?
Okay, so many things we could do, but move well when you move. And if you're not moving, move. Do it in a way that's kind to your structure. And then support your structure well when you're not moving. Okay, so let's say someone works sitting, they've got to sit down to eat, they've got to sit down to commute, they've got to lie down to sleep. That's a long time during our day that a body that was meant for movement is actually in a state without movement. So that means that we've got to be well supported at those times. Yeah. And secondly, when we are moving, firstly, if we're not, we really need to look at how important that is. All right. If we just go back to something simple, and if we can walk, I've had spinal surgery, okay, or 5S1, microdiscectomy. And that's when I learned firsthand. I was a bit of a, pretty full on exercise person going, oh no, if I'm not sweating and not suffering, I'm not gaining. Well, I've learned firsthand that walking is incredible, and that's the advice I've consistently given to people at certain stages. And I've gotten the feedback for the last 15 years as well in regards to just how good walking is. So go and walk. Most people equate exercise with going to the gym. If they don't like the gym, they won't go. So I just say, what do you like to do? What did you like to do way back when you used to exercise? Those two right there, mate, so important. As we've touched upon it as well, if we're recognizing that a muscle's between like 65 and 80% water, drink water. Drink good quality water. Make it a priority. Get up in the morning and hydrate, because we see so many symptoms from cramps to muscle aches to all sorts of other types of, indications that the muscle's not well hydrated. It's such a simple solution. I'd like to also highlight that a lot of what we're talking about is simple. This isn't rocket science. I have a hyperbaric chamber that I work with. Hey, we're not mentioning expensive equipment, even though it's incredible. We're going back to basics. Walk on uneven surfaces is another thing I've discovered recently. If you can get into nature and you feel comfortable, get the shoes off. Go and walk in uneven areas, just to keep that proprioceptive neurological function of our body with the brain, that relationship open. There's so many tips, mate, that I could give. And as I've mentioned, I wrote a book on it, and that was a book that, interestingly, the causes grew. I had the list to grow and grow and grow and grow. And then it got to a point where it didn't grow anymore. Like now and then I'd find a new problem in my early career and write it down. Most of us suffer from the same causes that cause back pain. If you ride a motorbike, and work in areas in the jungle in Peru, and people sort of bent over, and wasn't a coincidence that a lot of them came in with, the problems at the base of their neck. Okay. Or, if they're sitting down, they're professional drivers and they're suffering from low back. Strategies are really important for each person, depending on their lifestyle, to be able to compensate for that.
Thanks for watching this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.